So today I'm going to be replacing the half shaft and the axle seals, and also replacing the transmission fluid on the Civic. Problem with H2B is that I have to cut off one of these for it to actually function with the H2B setup, and it says to take off that, but that's really only if it doesn't clear the block. I was pretty sure that I cut off enough of the block that I should be able to fit it. But yeah, that's hopefully what we're going to get done today. Now the reason I'm replacing the half shaft is because whenever I put that one in, it before I even put it in there, because you're supposed to put it in, and since the half shaft isn't supposed to be bolted to that engine, kind of keep it kind of loose, spin it, see if it feels rough. If it doesn't, tighten it down and send it. If it feels rough, then you have to keep adjusting it until it gets as smooth as possible. And I did that, but the problem is the half shaft, when I put it in there, just turning it by hand off the car had a rough spot in it. So it was already a not great half shaft, but I put it in anyway because it's what I had. But now I have a new one, and I'm putting it in there, and I'm hoping that I got it pretty close to right. Right enough, I hope, that it didn't like waller out the output shaft bearings. I don't know, we'll just have to see. But so that's why I'm replacing the half shaft. Usually it's not really a thing that you have to do too much. Yeah, so let's get started.
That looks real sturdy right there. I was gonna take this time to look at all my bushings and see if they're all holding up, because I hear a clunk in the front, and it almost, it's hard to tell, but it almost looks like the lower control arm bushings are torn. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to replace those with the urethane I have, and I don't really want to, but that's probably what I'm gonna have to do. As you can see, we got the axle out. Now we're gonna see if we can get the half shaft out, and then we'll have to see which ear we have to cut off on the new one. But you know, just make it work. So now we have the new one cut. Just done did all the finishing on that. So he's pretty proud of that. But this is the old one. It's all, you can turn it and feel it's a little bit rough. You can actually see it. If you look really close, you can see it walking around. Where that ring is, that looks great. So yeah, we're just gonna put this one in. Hope it's good. As you can see under here, it's filthy, but I have the old seal out. I'm about to put this new one in, but I don't have a driver that is this big and that will sit around this lip here. So I'm having to, I think I'm just gonna have to get a hammer or something and tap around the outside of the seal until it's sitting flush with the case. And I mean, hopefully that'll do it. It was a giant pain, but I finally got this sitting flush. I used a just like a 1/4 inch extension thing, and I set it to where it was like halfway on the seal and halfway on the case, and then I'd hit it until the half that was hanging off the seal would hit the case, so I knew it was flush. It was a little bit harder up in this top corner here, but as I said, I think I got it. So I'm gonna smear some of this grease kind of around the inside here a little bit. So yeah, hopefully that's good. And then put the half shaft back in and call it good. So there's a new and fun development. So the one on the right is the new one. The one on the left is the old one. You can see this one is dipped down a little bit more, and that is because it is offset from the block a little bit more than this one is. So without a bunch of washers or something, I mean, that wouldn't even work, honestly, still. It'd put the axle at a weird angle. But yeah, essentially this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to just throw in my old half shaft and hope it's not going to waller out the new seal. is the plan, so that's fun. Since I'm having to use the old half shaft, the problem is now that since the bearings are garbage in this thing, I mean, they're not, they move, but they just don't move well. The problem is now that there's really no way to tell whether or not it has a good angle or not, because everything just feels bad when you turn it. I mean, it could be the trainee. I don't think it is, but just doing this, nothing really feels good. Just gonna have to get it up there, whatever feels the most smooth, I guess. Bolt it down and send it. Alright, not new. I'd be totally lying if I said that. The half shaft is back in there. And I'm about to put the axle back on and put this side together. And then probably move over and start doing the other side, I hope. So, yeah. So, I got one side done, half shaft back in, axle seal in, and we're quickly running into daylight. But I'm hoping I can get this other side done and knocked out pretty quick. So, here's to hoping. Okay, you can probably tell it's been a few hours. I've been trying to get that fucking axle out, man. It's out. It's out. Right down there. So, now I'm going to slide it out of there and try to get the old seal out and put a new one in there. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Oh, and clean all this up, because this is awful. Alright, I can't really tell what you guys can see. Hold up. Well, before I do this, before I rip this seal out of here, beyond all recognition, let's go ahead and look at that. Let's put it in here. It seems like it'll fit in there. Okay. It does seem like it'll fit in there. So, lovely. Great start. Ow! Cocksucker. God damn it. Ow. Okay. It's out. It's out. Fucking garbage. I'm gonna get that out of the way just because I don't want to drop the seal on that nasty ass stuff. So I'm gonna use the old seal, since it is encased in metal, to press. You can't see it at all what I'm doing. Just kind of set it on there and drive it in there kind of evenly, hopefully. I'm sure that's not working at all. Alright, I mean, that feels pretty flush. I'm gonna clean my hands a little bit, as much as I can in the moment. Take this grease that's in here, move it around the inside of the seal. Take the axle, try to get it splined in there. I think it's in. Yeah, we're in. All right, I currently have both new seals in, the old half shaft back in, and I'm going to start cleaning off all the old oil and dirt and shit that's down there. Hopefully get it kind of clean to where I can tell if it's still leaking next time I get under there. But then yeah, I'm going to fill it up with synchro mesh and hopefully it's all good. Now as for filling it, you can see I got a funnel right here, and I'm just going down into the fill hole that you may be able to see, probably not. If you follow the hose, you might be able to see it. But yeah, so it's going down into there, and you fill it until it starts running out of the hole, and that's how you know your transmission's full.